Random House Audio presents The Zombie Survival Guide, Complete Protection from the Living Dead by Max Brooks. Read for you by Marc Cashman. Introduction. The dead walk among us. Zombies, ghouls, no matter what their label, these somnambulists are the greatest threat to humanity, other than humanity itself. To call them predators and us prey would be inaccurate. They are a plague, and the human race their host. The lucky victims are devoured, their bones scraped clean, their flesh consumed. Those not so fortunate join the ranks of their attackers, transformed into putrid, carnivorous monsters. Conventional warfare is useless against these creatures, as is conventional thought. The science of ending life, developed and perfected since the beginning of our existence, cannot protect us from an enemy that has no life to end. Does this mean the living dead are invincible? No. Can these creatures be stopped? Yes. Ignorance is the undead's strongest ally, knowledge their deadliest enemy. That is why this book was written, to provide the knowledge necessary for survival against these subhuman beasts. Survival is the key word to remember. Not victory, not conquest, just survival. This book will not teach you to become a professional zombie hunter. Anyone wishing to devote their life to such a profession must seek training elsewhere. This book was not written for the police, military, or any government agency. These organizations, if they choose to recognize and prepare for the threat, will have access to resources far beyond those of private citizens. It is for them that this survival guide was written. Private citizens, people with limited time and resources, who nonetheless have refused to be victimized. Naturally, many other skills, wilderness survival, leadership, even basic first aid, will be necessary in any encounter with the living dead. These were not included in this work, as they can be found in conventional texts. Common sense will dictate what else should be studied to complement this manual. Subsequently, all subjects not directly related to the living dead have been omitted. From this book, you will learn to recognize your enemy, to choose the right weapons, about killing techniques, and about preparation and improvisation when on the defense, on the run, or on the attack. It will also discuss the possibility of a doomsday scenario, in which the living dead have replaced humanity as the planet's dominant species. Do not discount any section of this book as hypothetical drama. Every ounce of knowledge was accumulated by hard-won research and experience. Historical data, laboratory experiments, field research, and eyewitness accounts, including those of the author, have all served to create this work. Even the doomsday scenario is an extrapolation of true-life events. Many actual occurrences are chronicled in the chapter of recorded outbreaks. Studying them will prove that every lesson in this book is rooted in historical fact. That said, knowledge is only part of the fight for survival. The rest must come from you. Personal choice, the will to live, must be paramount when the dead begin to rise. Without it, nothing will protect you. On the last page of this book, ask yourself one question. What will you do? End your existence in passive acceptance? Or stand up and shout, "I will not be their victim. I will survive." The choice is yours. The Undead, Myths and Realities. He comes from the grave, his body a home of worms and filth. No life in his eyes, no warmth of his skin, no beating of his breast. His soul as empty and dark as the night sky. He laughs at the blade, spits at the arrow, for they will not harm his flesh. For eternity he will walk the earth, smelling the sweet blood of the living, feasting upon the bones of the damned. Beware, for he is the living dead. obscure Hindu text, circa 1000 BCE. Zombie, noun. Also, zombies, plural. 1. An animated corpse that feeds on living human flesh. 2. A voodoo spell that raises the dead. 3. A voodoo snake god. 4. One who moves or acts in a daze, like a zombie, a word of West African origin. What is a zombie? How are they created? What are their strengths and weaknesses? What are their needs, their desires? Why are they hostile to humanity? Before discussing any survival techniques, you must first learn what you are trying to survive. We must begin by separating fact from fiction. The Walking Dead are neither a work of black magic nor any other supernatural force. Their origin stems from a virus known as solanum, a Latin word used by Jan van der Haven, who first discovered the disease. Solanum, the virus. Solanum works by traveling through the bloodstream from the initial point of entry to the brain. Through means not yet fully understood, the virus uses the cells of the frontal lobe for replication, destroying them in the process. During this period, all bodily functions cease. By stopping the heart, the infected subject is rendered dead. The brain, however, remains alive but dormant, while the virus mutates its cells into a completely new organ. The most critical trait of this new organ is its independence from oxygen. By removing the need for this all-important resource, the undead brain can utilize, but is in no way dependent upon, the complex support mechanism of the human body. Once mutation is complete, this new organ reanimates the body into a form that bears little resemblance, physiologically speaking, to the original corpse. Some bodily functions remain constant, others operate in a modified capacity, and the remainder shut down completely. This new organism is a zombie, a member of the living dead. 1. Source. Unfortunately, extensive research has yet to find an isolated example of solanum in nature. Water, air, and soil in all ecosystems from all parts of the world have turned up negative, as have their accompanying flora and fauna. At the time of this writing, the search continues. 2. Symptoms. The timetable below outlines the process of an infected human, give or take several hours depending on the individual. Hour 1. Pain and discoloration, brown-purple, of the infected area. Immediate clotting of the wound, provided the infection came from a wound. Hour 5. Fever, 99 to 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Chills, slight dementia, vomiting, acute pain in the joints. Hour 8. Numbing of extremities and infected area, increased fever, 103 to 106 degrees Fahrenheit, increased dementia, loss of muscular coordination. Hour 11. Paralysis in the lower body, overall numbness, slowed heart rate. Hour 16. Coma. Hour 20. Heart stoppage, zero brain activity. Hour 23. Reanimation. 3. Transference. Solanum is 100% communicable and 100% fatal. Fortunately for the human race, the virus is neither waterborne nor airborne. Humans have never been known to contract the virus from elements in nature. Infection can occur only through direct fluidic contact. A zombie bite, although by far the most recognizable means of transference, is by no means the only one. Humans have been infected by brushing their open wounds against those of a zombie, or by being splattered by its remains after an explosion. Ingestion of infected flesh, provided the person has no open mouth sores, however, results in permanent death rather than infection. Infected flesh has proven to be
Sample complete. Ready to continue?